stop or should I?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I don't see. Let me see. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my fabulous friends.
Good morning. Awesome. So we're just gonna wait until everybody joins on. But if you want to introduce yourselves to Margie, that would be great.
Hi, Margie. It's great to see you again.
Hi.
Good morning. Good morning. Awesome. Cool. Here's Kim. There's Rachel. Every time in the beginning of these seminars, I feel like, did you guys ever watch Romper Room? Do you know what I mean? Like when you'd be like,
That's
I'm looking
hilarious.
through the glass, and there's Roselle, and there's beautiful Kim. Hi, Roxanne. Good morning. It's just so funny because I feel like it's Romper Room.
It is. It is.
It is, right, Ronnie? Like it's like, and I see Kim. Awesome.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's
Oh, I
anything.
know.
By the way, guys, I just want to apologize in advance. I do have to hop off a little early, but I couldn't go without seeing Margie a little bit.
I
because she's so
know. I'm
bad.
super
I know.
excited.
And plus, I haven't seen Scott Siegel in like 5 minutes, so it's
Oh, I know.
weird.
Scott, where are you at? I can't see you. You're the
I
only
know,
one on this thing.
I'm having technical difficulties this morning. I'm trying to figure it out. I will be right back.
Oh, he's a Yankees fan. Giancarlo Stanton and him were hanging out last night partying, so it's unfortunate.
Right. He hit 2 moonshots.
I know. You know, he's my ex-boyfriend because he is amazingly good looking. However, when he left the Marlins to go to the Yankees, we had to break up.
That's so funny. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Sorry, I was saying bye to the little one getting out the door. So.
No, I hear you. I was like literally pushing all of them out, and I had to have the neighbor bring Aiden to the bus stop. I was like, you can be the dad today. Has been still not back from, my husband's finally coming back from Canada
Okay.
tonight. So I'm just like super excited.
How was the travel going in and out of Canada? I was just wondering, just being curious.
Yeah, no. He had to show that he was vaccinated, and then he had to show that he had a negative COVID test to go in.
Okay.
And then coming back into the US, he has to he has to show that a negative COVID test, but it can't be one of those at-home kits. It has
to be like from a doctor type of thing.
Yeah, it has to be from the doctor.
Yeah.
And so, like I'm going to Turks and Caicos in November, and
Oh, sad for you.
I know, I'm so sad. I'm going with Jill. Have you met Jill? Yeah, so I'm going with Jill Kirsch. She does these luxury retreats just as a thing. Anyways.
No,
So
I need to meet her.
Yeah, no. So, but she does them like in Cabo, and this one's in Turks and Caicos, and it's like a women's retreat. And
Would you share her contact info?
Oh yeah.
All of us are like, could we
Yeah.
like ASAP?
Rizal, I don't see you, honey.
I know I can't get the camera to work. I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
Rizal broke the camera just like she breaks it with her rates.
Roselle, it's an age thing. I had the same problem this
Oh
morning.
my Lord, I've got
It
the
is
thing that
not.
says share video, but it's not okay, stop the video.
Do you have, oh, there you go.
And start the video and
Yeah, start video.
nothing. I mean, it's
There's
got
Keith. Keith
Do you
is
have
joining this.
something? Do you have something in front of the camera, the
Nope.
lens thing?
Nope.
Okay.
You have a second monitor connected, maybe? Sometimes.
I
the
got 3
camera-
monitors connected. Should I get
That's
rid of
what
all of
it
them?
is.
Yeah, or
No,
what I did was
or you-
unplug your camera and plug it back in if you have a camera.
No, it's built into my PC.
yeah, you can go to the little camera icon on Zoom and just make sure to select the camera on your PC.
Okay, so
Oh
I
my
go
gosh,
to the
Kim's
little.
on here.
How do you get to the little
Wi-Fi's
camera
on.
on Zoom?
You go to
Oh.
the bottom of the the bottom of the window. And then on the, I think left, it's the second icon to the left. It should have like a little triangle that pulls up and it'll
I
show
wonder
you.
if I put ask to start video, if it's something. will pop
Integrated
up.
video.
Okay,
Start my video.
okay, I see your square coming up.
Yeah,
So
but, okay, video
Something's
settings,
happening.
integrated.
awesome. Good morning, Key. I don't think he's connected onto audio yet. Red mark on my face and it's driving me nuts, but oh well. So we'll start in about a minute and I'll do the introductions.
I'm gonna close and start again.
Okay, perfect. I'll let you in.
Leave.
Oh, there you are, Scott. You did it.
I did. I went to old school. I unplugged my camera and plugged it back in.
That's what Rosella's doing right now. So
It's like
that's
when my
awesome.
computer broke, I power it down and power it back up. It's like magic.
It is awesome. Well, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you for a minute. It's been kind of crazy. Okay. So once Roselle joins, then we'll go ahead and get started. But thank you everybody for being here this morning. Awesome. Nikki.
Nothing.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay, Roselle.
I'm gonna be dark today.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being here for the Dela Cruz Law Small Business Roundtable. And today we have Margie. I met Margie, when was it? Only a couple of weeks ago. But as usual, it's amazing how God puts wonderful people in my life and they are kindred spirits and just really focused on their business. And then also focused on helping other business owners. And she has a wonderful expertise in marketing, but not only marketing, but just ideas that will help you simplify and improve the processes in your business. So it's not just very one-dimensional. So, at this conference, we were, brainstorming ideas. She was always giving me wonderful, apps and things that I could use in the law firm to not only from a marketing perspective, but also from like a project management standpoint. And just because I loved her so much, and my husband was with me, he's like, you've got to hire her. And so she is helping me with my marketing and really just getting things streamlined and organized for me, which is really what I need. And she's going to do it from a project management standpoint. And so we are working together and she is fantastic. And I really wanted to bring her into the fold of my wonderful network. So Margie, if you want to take it away.
Yes, thank you so much for the introduction and for the opportunity. I'm so excited. Greetings from Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a little dark here, so it's not that I have lights, it's just the sky. But I'm so excited to present to you guys some things that I've learned. I've been doing marketing for over 23 years and more business consulting lately. I'm going to talk about how to growth hack your business, how to transform good marketing ideas into profitable ones. I came up with this topic and this presentation a while ago because I feel like with my experience, I've seen so many different simple things that business owners can do differently that can make a huge difference. And so that's what I'm going to talk about right now. I've done a lot of marketing work and business work in the legal space, but this honestly applies to any sort of business. So I wanted to create something that any business owner can benefit from. I'll tell you a little bit about my background. My philosophy when it comes to my work that I do is I believe that business owners deserve to make money and feel good about the way they're doing it. I come across a lot of business owners that are frustrated and that don't feel good about the way that their business is running. And it's not because they're doing things wrong. It's just they're good at their business. They're technicians. They're, experts in a field. They're not necessarily, well-versed at all these other things like marketing, accounting, and, all these other things. And so when it comes to, marketing, that's where I bring the most experience. I, invite business owners that I work with and that I speak to leverage my experience in marketing, business, and, just life. I create educational resources as well. So there's many different ways to work with me and benefit from this experience. The presentation today is an example of some of the teaching that I do. I also am developing a university for business owners specifically to talk about marketing and to teach them about marketing. It's not for marketers, it's for business owners. You guys need different things. You don't need to know where to click to do the thing. You just need to know how the thing works so you can have somebody do it. That's what my teaching is about in that course that I'm developing. My corporate experience includes brands like NBC, the Nielsen Company, Telemundo, Columbia Pictures. Fun fact about me that everybody always gets impressed by is if you've ever seen the movie Spanglish, that was actually one of my first jobs out of college. I helped to write the Spanish on the script. I helped with casting, product placement.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm like
Cherish
totally random.
Cherish
right?
didn't know something.
Yeah.
Jennifer.
So many stories. Yeah.
Write this day down.
One of my mentors and the person that hired me for that movie was actually Christy Habegger, the founder of Latina Magazine. So that's how I started to get involved with the data side, which is going to be represented in a lot of what I'm going to talk about today. Building a business is not easy, but it doesn't have to be complicated. This is another philosophy and takeaway that I want to share with you. It is not easy. We all know that we have to be committed and we have to take risk, and we all know that side of it. But it doesn't have to be complicated if you just kind of know specific points to address and delegate to the right people. Those are the key things that I've learned in my experience. And the best metaphor that I can think of is when you're pushing a child on a swing. Those of you that have children, you can push a child right at the right moment, and that child will project into the sunset, right? And that child is happy and they're giggling. But if you push them at the wrong time, you will break your fingers, because that child will come at you with like all their weight, and it'll hurt you, it'll hurt the child, everybody will, and everything falls apart. And so it's not a matter of maybe you're doing all the right things, maybe it's just the timing and it's little adjustments. So I want to encourage you, whatever it is that you're frustrated by right now in your business or in your marketing, maybe fixing it is not as complicated as you might think. I'm going to tell you a story because I really believe that stories help teach things. Okay. This is a real story, but I'm not going to tell you the client's name for their privacy. I protect my client's privacy a lot. So a client was spending tens of thousands of dollars, okay, on a website, was getting a bunch of traffic, but there was just one tiny problem. The traffic was massive. They went from not getting any traffic to getting exponentially more traffic than they'd ever had in their lives. And they were so excited with this SEO vendor that they had. And when I asked them, when I said, that's great, tell me, how many new customers are you getting from said traffic? And they were like, we don't know. The vendor doesn't really give us a report. They just show us how we used to not have traffic. And then they show us these charts that show that we now have all this traffic. And it's exciting, because isn't that what SEO is? Well, the point of SEO and really anything that you're going to do in your marketing is to get new customers, right? It's to grow your business. So to me, that was a huge red flag that something was not right. And so what I did was I combed every single page of the website. I did an audit, and I found out this horrible truth. Okay. The company was a law firm. I can tell you that much. And their top ranking piece of content that was drawing all this traffic was a technical article on how to draft a legal letter. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that their customers who were looking for legal services were the ones reading that article, or was it other lawyers? That's the horrible truth that I uncovered. I was like, they're bringing you traffic in theory, yes, but this is not your target market. Like, what's the point? This is why you're not getting any new customers. And I like to use that as an illustration of the importance of not going down the rabbit hole of getting stuck on tactics, because a lot of tactics work. There's a lot of good ideas, right? We describe this talk as transforming good ideas into profitable ones. Here's a good idea. I'm going to have somebody do SEO or, perform SEO tactics on my website. That is a good idea. Fantastic idea. poor execution, not profitable. So how do we get from that to what I, want to recommend that you all do? Well, most business owners approach marketing like this. I should spend money on a website. I think I should have a website. Maybe I heard blogs are really good. I'm going to do blogs. Email marketing seems to be a thing. I'm going to do that too. Great idea. Yes. Social media. Oh my gosh, I can't forget about social media. Video. Oh, and now everybody's running digital ads. So I might as well do that too. That's how a lot of business owners process these decisions, right? What I want to recommend is that you just take a moment and think about where you are in this space of how business owners approach things. Do you delegate your marketing to others? And if you want to write it in the chat, because I like to make things interactive, which statement describes you? I delegate my marketing to others and wait to see if it works, because that's another one. I plan my marketing around what I see others do, and I hope that it works. When I don't get the result I need, I just give up and try something else. If you can relate to any of this, I'm just curious. Like, I won't pick on you. I swear. I just, yeah. So my recommendation is, first of all, don't feel bad. Okay. It's not your fault. Here I am with my circus. I have 5 children, and this is our birth announcement picture. If it costs you your peace of mind, you're paying too much. I put this picture on here because, like, for me, my peace of mind is precious, right? We have to make strategic decisions, take calculated risks. And when it comes to marketing, I'll tell you, it is not your fault that maybe you're not doing things the best way. Just understand that tactics alone are not going to guarantee the results. They have to be a part of a larger business strategy. And that's what I'm going to focus on today. I'm going to walk you through how to build this strategy and how to approach it. You don't have to do it yourself, okay? I'm going to talk to you about how to approach it so that you know what it is that your business needs and you can get that done, okay? So there's a lot of resources. So obviously I have a lot on my website that you're welcome to take advantage of. How to create a business plan that holds your marketing accountable for metrics that are going to result in sales. When I talk about a business plan, that's what I'm talking about, okay? You need a plan that has actual numbers tied to everything that you do. So instead of setting goals like, I need to get more social media followers, which is a common one. Like, we all want it. It's a vanity metric, right? Because it's cool. My competitor has 10,000 followers. I want 20, right? That's how we think. Don't do that. Instead, set a goal like this. I want you to appreciate the difference. Getting more social media followers is one way of setting a goal, or increase social media followers by 10% to get 3 to 5 leads per month and close 1 new customer. You see the difference? It's not a goal with just a lofty thing in the air. It's a goal that has an accountability, a number, and it has a correlation to your sales. Okay. Will social media get you new? I use this example as on purpose. Will social media get you new customers? If I want more followers on social media, I just need to push out more content, right? That's going to be my strategy. But if I'm wanting more new customers, I'm going to be a lot more careful with the content that I push out, because I don't just want more followers. I want quality followers. I want quality people to see my stuff. And I want people to actually call or click or enter in their data or do something, right? So having these 2 goals is going to result in a different execution. So you see the difference when you as a business owner set goals that are quantifiable. In marketing speak, these are called KPIs, right? Key performance indicators. My key performance indicator is that a 10% increase in social media can get me 3 to 5 new leads per month and help me close at least 1 new customer. Does it mean I'm going to hit my goal every single month? No, but it means that I have a goal that I can be strategic about in my execution and that I can hold my marketing accountable for. So that's the difference. It's setting those types of goals. So I want you to think about right now, all of these goals and things that you're doing for your marketing. And like, literally, if you want to, even now or later, or at some point, make a list and tie them to these numbers. If it's grow your website traffic, okay, for what? You're going to grow your website traffic by how much and for what? What's going to be the expected result? Does it mean you're going to hit those goals all the time? No, but you have a much better chance of moving in the right direction and actually getting a return on your investment for your efforts than if you just, I want to increase my website traffic. Because going back to my cautionary tale, that was their goal. Their goal was, I'm going to invest in SEO to increase my website traffic. They never told their SEO vendor, hey, I want to increase my website traffic because I want 5 new customers per month. If I'm going to invest more than $10,000, that's what I want. That was on the business owner. They didn't do that. So was it the marketing vendor's fault? Was it the business? No, it doesn't matter. It's just the system's a little broken when it comes to goal setting, right? My recommendation is to follow these simple steps, okay? Research the marketplace. So for your business plan, in somewhere in your business plan, you need to have research of your marketplace. And this is a business plan because it affects your sales and marketing decisions, okay? You profile your customer and you develop a sales and marketing plan in conjunction. So your sales and your marketing plan should go hand in hand. That's another tip that I have for you. A lot of business owners set these marketing goals and the sales goals are not necessarily mirroring each other. So I'll give you an example. If I am out there marketing promotions for the holidays, right? Let's say that I was selling shoes for the holidays and I have a sales goal of selling boots, but my marketing plan talks about high heels. How does that even make sense? Like those two things have to be developed in conjunction. What are your best things that you can offer, that you can sell? What are your top products and services that have the greatest amount of margin, for example, and profitability? Those should be at the forefront of your marketing, and it should work hand in hand. You then use data to project your sales, and then you correlate your marketing goals to your sales goals, like I mentioned in the previous illustration. And then you measure and analyze and optimize. So at the beginning, I said that building a business can be difficult, but it doesn't have to be complicated. This is a simple formula. Simple formula. You have to research, set your goals, know your numbers, right? And then project. So for example, I am a business that's going to invest in social media to build my business. I have now set some goals. Now I know that if I invest X amount of dollars on video or whatever it is that I need to push my social media, now I have an idea of how many sales I can get from that effort. And I'm not just throwing money at a tactic and hoping that it works. I now have a projection. So if you've never done this before, don't worry. At the end, I'll give you some steps that you can take to get into my database. And I actually have a profitability matrix that I've developed. If you like spreadsheets, it comes with a video tutorial and it's free, that I'll make sure to make available to you. And you can actually plug in information about your products and services and plug in information about your budget that you're thinking about investing, and then project how long it'll take you to make a return on whatever investment you're making in your marketing, or really in anything else, even your consumer goods if you're in a product business. Here are some of the tools that I recommend to use, okay? If you're not tech savvy, these are tools that maybe you're not going to want to use all yourself. Maybe you want to delegate these. If you're not tech savvy, you can use Google Trends. That's the one that I always recommend to every single business owner, no matter how comfortable you are with data or with technology. Google Trends is so easy to use. Google Trends essentially, and it's at googletrends.com, or you can Google Google Trends and you'll see. Google Trends is essentially a hub where you can type in a phrase or a keyword that's related to your product or business, and it'll tell you on average out of every 100 searches on the internet, how many people are searching that way. Why is this important? If I am an estate lawyer, okay, and I'm deciding, should I promote the will and trust concept, or should I promote creating a will, right? How should I promote it? Should I call it creating a will? Should I call it will and trust? Well, I can go on Google Trends and drop in both of those phrases and compare them, and Google Trends will tell me which one is more likely to be in somebody's search bar. So I can then make my decision based on what's trending. Because at the end of the day, if I sell will and trust services, but that's not how people are searching for it, but then that's how I'm advertising, there's a disconnect, right? So Google Trends is a very, very simple tool to use. You literally just drop in a bunch of words And it can be fun after a while. You just drop in different combinations of words and just see what pops up. And it even lets you drill down by specific state and city too. So you can do a search for the US, you can do a search for, Canada or for any country. And then you can drill down based on state, city. You can drill down as specifically as you want. Google Trends also lets you drill down by whether they're searching on the web or if they're searching for you in Google Shopping too. So this is really cool if you're like in any kind of retail or consumer goods space, because you can specifically just look at the difference between searches that people are just doing in general for content and searches that people are doing when they're actually shopping. So Google Trends is really neat. Google Ads, it's not as easy to use, but they've come up with some, they've come up with some ways so that all you do is drop in your website and it'll give you suggested keywords based on what's the content that's on your website. So Google Ads is pretty amazing because it'll show you keywords that people are using related to your business, and it'll show you the volume that people are using of those keywords. So for example, if I'm selling shoes and I'm wanting to decide, should I promote black boots or brown boots, Google Trends can tell you that 5 times the amount of people are searching for black boots versus brown boots, and you can make your decision. So Google Ads. And it'll also tell you, if you want to run ads, what it might cost for you to actually buy that keyword when somebody is searching. So that's Google Ads. The Google Ads platform is free. You can set up a free account. You don't even have to run ads to use it. A lot of people don't know this. So you can literally just go to Google Ads, set up an account, drop in your website, and it'll give you keywords, and you can just stop there. You didn't pay anything, you didn't do anything, you just did some research. So I highly recommend that you do that, because eventually you're going to need to understand competitively also where the keywords are. So like I do a lot of work with PI lawyers, for example, and in Atlanta, I can tell you that auto accident and workers' comp lawyer, there's a huge difference between those 3 words. And so even if you're not running ads, to use them in your social media, on your website, in your marketing can be beneficial to know which one of those has the greatest weight, right? And so that's what Google Ads, the platform, lets us see. SEMrush is another tool that I recommend. And SEMrush actually, and my website's under construction, so I'm just disclaimer, but if you go to my website, there's a shop page that is done. And there's a link to SEMrush if you want to learn more about SEMrush, or SEMrush, SEMrush, I call it SEMrush. But it's a really neat tool as well, because SEMrush actually allows you to do research and to analyze your content. So it has more advanced tools. And this one is a paid tool, it's not free, but it's one of my favorites because you can actually drop in your website or a competitor's website or anybody's website, and it'll show you what words page by page are bringing traffic to the site. Competitively, this is really neat. Like I did a business plan for a accounting firm the other day, and we looked at their website and they were trying to rank for like Kennesaw accountants, and they were doing SEO. And when we looked at a competitor like Bench, who's like a benchmark competitor, right? We all have the pie in the sky competitor. They're not real competitors, but they're kind of a something to aspire to, that you want your brand to be like them. Well, they were getting a ton of traffic with blogs all about PPP and all about disaster relief and they had no content on that. And I'm like, you're competing for like Kennesaw accountants that like 5 people are searching, when you can just add these keywords that Bench is using and ranking and take some of this traffic. They're not going to miss this traffic. And so we were able to see that in SEMrush. We were able to see that analysis of traffic to different competitor websites by keywords that we can then get inspired by and add to our website. SparkToro is another platform that I recommend. SparkToro is, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but Facebook used to allow you to analyze demographic information from their platform. That's no longer available because I guess Facebook got in trouble or whatever. SparkToro is a really good alternative because you can actually type in like a profile of your customer. and it'll analyze what they're doing all over the internet for you. So for example, say you're targeting business owners that are doctors. You can put doctor and business owner in the search bar, and it'll tell you what are their favorite podcasts, what are their favorite TV shows, what are their what are their favorite social media platforms, how much time do they spend on said social media platforms. This is important because you need to have a good profile of your target persona, of your target customer, so that you know how to speak their language. So back to this like accounting business example, we figured out that because I think they wanted to explore focusing on, doctors that owned a business. We figured out that a lot of their target customers had a dry sense of humor. They watched the Daily Show like crazy. And I was like, oh my God, this needs to be reflected in your tone, how you speak, because they were using very, formal, like professional language to communicate, but they can have a little bit more fun and maybe stand out from their competitors. And we saw this by appreciating that, hey, there's data here on what these guys are into, these girls are into, what sort of media they consume. We also figured out that they like to watch sports on the weekends to relax. So guess what? If they ever are ready to run ads on Google, guess where their ads need to go? ESPN, right? Because that's what they like to do on the weekends to relax. So that's the kind of information you can get from a tool like SparkToro. And if you don't have these tools and you need somebody to build a business plan for you and get all this data for you, that's one of the services that I can provide as well. And the other thing that you need to do as the principle here is you need to listen to your audience, and they're going to say yes to you more often. So just kind of landing the plane here with the main point here is listening, right? The research is all about listening. Figuring out what your customer is into is all about listening. Another simple and free way that you can listen to your audience is on social media. One of the recommendations that I give all of my clients is go on your profile's social media. So if you're trying to connect with doctors that are business owners, find some doctor business owners and look at what they're posting on their social media. Look at how they talk. And these are examples. We want to use the data, right? Because we don't want to get carried away with one example, but we want to use specific examples to get even more ideas. So listen to what they're doing on the line. And I liken this to, like, when you ask, we all know this principle. I liken this to dating, right? We've all been asked out on a date, or we've asked somebody out on a date, okay? How does that dynamic work? Do you just walk up to a stranger and say, hey, let's go out? You don't. You learn more about them. You ask them some questions. And then, you figure out that they like roses, and then you show up with roses and say, here's a flower, let's go out. They're more likely to say yes. It's the same thing with your customers. When you've taken the time to listen to what they're interested in, what their pain points are, what they're frustrated by, what they say about your competition, there's no shame in going to your competitors' social media, for example. Like for me, Gary Vee is a competitor. It's a pie in the sky competitor, right? Gary Vee is like this amazing marketer. He's very famous. And I will go to his social media from time to time, and I'll look to see in the comments, what are business owners telling him? What are they asking him? And I'll use that as inspiration for when I create content. If somebody asks Gary Vee, right, my competitor, my pie in the sky competitor, if somebody asks him, how do I fire my marketing agency? Well, guess what? Blog I'm going to write next. How to fire your marketing agency in 3 steps. Make sure to get all your passwords. So I'm going to create content about the things that I'm seeing the chatter about. This is, Cherish mentioned this is another thing that I focus on with the work that I do. Focus on being human where it counts and automate the rest. This is actually a saying of one of my favorite vendors that I'll refer to. So I will help with figuring out where and what needs to be automated. And then I have different vendors that I'll refer out to. There's a vendor that I work with a lot. They're Mobile Pocket Office. They're actually the reason I'm here in Utah. They automate whatever you want automated. So the way I work with them is I will come up with an idea like, hey, it's taking too long for this customer to go from a phone call to signing up a new client. How can we fix this? And then they'll come in and they'll say, let's look at what platforms they're using. And they'll figure out how to connect things to automate it and make it go faster. So that's like pro automation. I'll give you an example. And I was talking to Cherish about this earlier. I had a client that was doing marketing and they were doing great and they were getting calls. And I was like, what's going on? You're not converting these clients. And they were like, well, you know, we're giving them good customer service. I audited the calls. They were being nice on the phone, everything. And they were just not closing. Well, and this was a PI law firm. And what was happening was that by the time they got the person signed up, they had way too much time to like find another lawyer or to like have second thoughts or, you know, to get distracted by something else. And that was the issue. It wasn't the marketing. It wasn't the customer service. It wasn't the sales goal. Everything was right. It was just this piece. And so we figured out that they were using a software, but they weren't using it to its maximum capacity. So they went from having like a 2-day turnaround between the phone call and the sign up to a, okay, great. You should receive a text message right now. Did you get a text message? Yes. Okay, go ahead and open that document and go ahead and sign it with your finger. Fantastic. We have everything we need. We'll be sending you some more information soon. Client close. 5 minutes. It went from like a 3-day process to like 5 minutes. That's an example of looking for things in your business that can be automated. Look at everything that's happening in your business right now, okay? And out of everything that's happening in your business, everything that you're doing, what can we get a machine to do? And it's not about, or a software or a platform. And it's not necessarily about not giving people jobs, right? It's being human where it counts. Wouldn't you rather spend more time with your clients than sending out emails? Well, if you always get asked the same things by the same, you know, type of client after you sign them up, right? If you're a professional services, why not write an email sequence that already addresses those things? And every time you have a new customer, a machine sends out those emails for you, right? In a drip campaign, right? It's a timed email campaign. That makes a lot more sense. So these are just examples of automating where, you know, where you can focus on giving value. This is more about your content strategy, your automation. They're all reduced to this principle. This is one of my favorite authors, Wallace Wattles. Give away more in use value than you take from him in cash value, right? Give every man, excuse me, more in use value, man, woman, right? Let's be modern. Wallace Wattles was just talking about men. Give everybody, okay, more in use value than you take from them in cash value. When you focus on giving your customers value, you will always have more referrals, more repeat business, and a better customer experience for everybody. So that's another recommendation for a business hack. And here's a tip too, to create 27 pieces of content in 10 days. So talking about content, okay, if you're going to create content that's valuable, that can be overwhelming, right? You're a busy business owner and maybe you're not going to create this yourself. That's cool. You can delegate it. But a lot of the business owners that I've worked with will make a mistake when it comes to focusing on volume content, is that they'll delegate all of it. You don't want to delegate all of it. You want your voice to be represented in your content. So here's an easy way. Okay. Day one, you record a video like this one on here. It's a vlog, right? You record a video, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, talk about what, you know, you've done your research, you've listened to your customer, talk about something that would be interesting to your customer, right? You hand that vlog over to an agency, a marketer or an admin assistant, whoever, right? Somebody can take that and create 5 short videos. So you go from 1 piece of content and now you have 6. Somebody can take that video, right? You spent maybe 10 minutes making that video. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Now somebody can take that and create 10 social media posts, 10 stories on social media, and 1 blog. You will end up with 27 pieces of content in 10 days. It takes about 10 days to produce all of this, from when you record the video to when you hand it off to somebody, right, to get it worked. So now you have 27 pieces of quality content that's providing value, right, and that you're using to attract your qualified customers, and that you're putting through some sort of funnel that's automated. So this is an awesome hack that I like to share. Anybody can do this. I don't care how busy you are. You can make a video vlog with your cell phone and just talk about something. Give that to the people that are doing your marketing. Don't just say, hey, you know, do my blog, do my social media, and then you're not involved, because then there's going to be a disconnect. your marketing is going to look like something, and then you're going to look like something else, and there's going to be a disconnect. So it's really important for your voice, your expertise to be in your content and for it to be valuable. So the other thing that I, would like to recommend is when you're budgeting too, focus on the lifetime value. This is another thing that I see with business owners is that they think to themselves, okay, I'm going to spend this much. This is what I can afford to spend. And okay, I'm going to get like, oh, I'll give you an actual example. I was talking to a parenting coach, and she wants to do a webinar. Okay. And her webinar, we did an analysis that if she wanted to run ads around her webinar, she'd have to spend $1,000. Well, her webinar only cost $150, okay, to attend. It's a class. And if she gets like 10 people, she'll barely break even, right? Like 10 people. But with the budget that she has for ads, which is $1,000, it's going to be hard for her to really get that, right? So on the surface, this doesn't look like a really good opportunity for her to grow her business, right? But then when we turn the conversation to, well, how can you extend the lifetime value of those customers that are going to come through your webinar? She had not even thought about upselling them more resources. She had not thought about packaging her webinar and then letting it run automatically and actually making money in her sleep, okay? So if she's not doing this webinar and it's not taking up more of her time, and she can do, I don't know, 10 of these and have them run automatically, and she can generate revenue from them automatically, now the ROI is much bigger. The customer lifetime value is bigger. So sometimes the answer is not the marketing, the service, and the ROI. Sometimes the answer is, how can I get more mileage out of the customer that I invested in getting into my pipeline or the lead, right? So when you're budgeting and you look at cost, you estimate the sales, but you also estimate the profit. So it's not the immediate sales, but you estimate the profit over time. What is that customer really worth? So like with the example, of like a, lead gen for a law firm, right? Like what Cherish does, you might sell something, a service, a small service, but I assure you, with everything that she does for business owners, that business owner is going to retain her for even more services later. So she worry on a campaign about, oh, well, the initial transaction was only $1,000 or $2,000, right? The lifetime value could potentially be tens of thousands of dollars. So it's a different math that you need to calculate when you're budgeting. So I wanted to also point that out because that's a common thing that I see business owners when they're budgeting.
Well, can I ask you a question real quick, Margarita? Or interject it real quick? Back on that last screen that you had there, as far as the lifetime value. Yes. That's having that one customer purchase from you, but then there's another calculation for how many people they refer to you. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what lifetime value is about. If every customer represents a set number of transactions or an average number of transactions that have an average value, and then you provide them good service, now you're optimizing, because good service is also marketing. Now you're optimizing and you're getting even more mileage out of that customer. Absolutely. And if you have the systems to make it easy for them to send a text to their friends, then those types of investments, back to the swing analogy, right? Those types of investments are like a tiny little push that can give you huge traction. Don't try to do it all yourself. Delegate to trusted experts, invest in software, create systems that work for you. So the last couple of slides are reduced to these 3 tips, okay? You're delegating, you understand what needs to be done. You don't have to do it all yourself. Delegate it to people that you trust. Invest in software that's going to help you, create in systems that work for you. I've launched several businesses myself, and I am never concerned about buying software, because if it's going to save me time, I don't care how much it costs. Like I know I'll make it back. So that's one thing that I highly recommend is you focus on what you're going to get out of automating and not the software cost, because it'll come back to you. Taking the next step. Okay. So Cherish talked about how, one of the things I like to help with is getting organized, right? Because this is about more than marketing. It's about more than sales. It's about more than all of this. At the end of the day, in order to make a good idea profitable, you have to put it into action. So this is another area where I see a lot of business owners get stuck, is that they have these great ideas and now they know how to do it right, and now they know what to look for, and then overwhelm happens, right? It all starts with just the next step. You focus on the next step that you have to take. And a few tools that I would like to recommend are Slack, ClickUp, and Trello, okay? I'm gonna give you a little rundown, and I think I'm okay on time. I wanna leave room for questions. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of these, okay? So imagine that you're building a car, okay? You're building a car and you have your instructions in one building, and you have the car parts in another building across town. And then you have the machines that you need to put the car parts together in another building across town. That's how most businesses operate these days, when they send things via email, and then they have things in a shared drive, and then they have, tools that are, in other places somewhere in cyberspace, right? Most businesses, that's how they operate, whether you're e-commerce or a physical store, right? That's how you operate your marketing and your business. Slack, think of it like your modern day water cooler, okay? It's where you go for ideas, you chat, you brainstorm, you have conversations, you ask quick questions, you collaborate with your team. Slack is really great. Chats are not efficient, like WhatsApp, iMessage, all that stuff. Those are not efficient because things get lost in the feed. What I like about Slack is that you can create separate channels with separate topics to keep your conversations organized. That's the only difference. Super efficient when it comes to finding things later, okay? So that's what Slack gives you. ClickUp is basically your plant. It aggregates everything. It aggregates the instructions, the car parts, and the tools that you need, okay? ClickUp is a project management software, and you can find these on my website. ClickUp is a project management software, and it allows you to create tasks that you can then tag with, people that you're assigning them to, set deadlines, which is important, right? You got to set deadlines, but it allows you to map out step by step. If I want to increase my social media by 10% to get those 3 to 5 customers, these are the tasks related to that goal that I have to do, these steps. Oh, now that I mapped out all the tasks, it's going to take me about 90 days to get there, right? So it allows you to really project manage at that level. Trello is if you're overwhelmed by Slack and you're overwhelmed by ClickUp, because I get it, there's a learning curve to these two, okay? If you ever work with me on a business consulting plan, I have my own ClickUp that I make available so that people can learn. Some customers like to get their own ClickUp, their own Slack, that's cool too. But if you're not ready for any of it and you just want something simple, Trello is really nice. Trello is my gateway project management software that I recommend to business owners that are just overwhelmed and they just need something to start getting organized. Trello allows you to create what are called boards. And inside your boards, you can create lists of tasks that need to happen. And then you just move them along to they're in progress and they're done. And that's it. It's just 3 phases of, in progress, done. You can create other phases if you want to, but Trello allows for that simplicity if you're overwhelmed by, technology easily, and that's okay. And you're not going to work with somebody that's going to help you, start with Trello. Trello will help you just create your list and give yourself deadlines and then move it along the project pipeline. I do have an offer, and then after here, I think I'm good to, take any additional questions or comments, grievances. So if you text the word growth hack to this phone number, you're going to get a copy of this presentation. You're going to go into my email list, and you'll also get additional resources. I have a free quiz that you're going to get as well. The quiz lets you answer some questions and find out how solid your business plan is, and it'll give you automatic recommendations on areas of improvement for your business plan based on your results. So that's the first thing that you'll get. And then after that, you'll start to get more resources for projecting sales and things like that. So with that, I'll turn it over to Cherish, or if anybody has questions. I think it's audible, right? Or do I check the chat for questions?
No, everyone can unmute and ask questions if they have questions. Thank you so much. That was great.
Awesome.
The thing that and just, something that I've enjoyed working with Margie is that I was in that state of overwhelm where there's all of these projects and there's all of these resources, and I had no idea where to start because, you're always getting a great tip here and there, but I needed just from my own ADD, I needed somebody to centralize and like manage that process for me. Because as my business is growing, I'm like, okay, I need to delegate. And the delegation factor is key. So now she meets with my marketing assistant, and that's one closed loop in my head that I've been able to delegate, and the process is very freeing. So just in terms of that, I think that I've opened up more space in my brain for other things. And then we definitely collaborate on the creative overarching themes of the things, but the actual minutia of doing the day-to-day stuff is not my forte. And then I didn't know how to use what resource that were, or a tip, because everyone will give you tips, but they won't necessarily show you how to use it unless, and that's overwhelming for me.
Mm-hmm.
So does anyone have any questions?
I've already stolen a couple of ideas.
I'm sorry?
I've already stolen a couple of ideas. Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. No, and Margie's great. Like, I mean, when we were sitting at this conference, it was just like, it's a just somebody to hold your hand through that entire process is just, for me, it's invaluable. Because like, if you look at your billable hour, or if you look at the return on investment, which is something that I've started to appreciate that, right? So like being very strategic with the marketing, and you're saying, okay, if I delegate this, but I bill at this hourly rate, what is the rate of return that I'm getting? And a lot of marketers won't they don't want you to know that, right? So they want you to say, okay, search engine optimization, we've got 1,000 leads coming there. But what Margie was saying is actually correlating that return on investment to that particular objective. And I think there's a huge disconnect, which you as a lawyer or a business owner don't necessarily understand. So
yeah. And there's a lot of good marketers. I actually used to own an agency, and I still own it, but I'm not involved in it anymore. But I will tell you, it's just the marketing business model makes it very difficult to be in that neutral space, because you make money based on implementing tactics, not on strategy. So, you make money based on creating content, creating video, doing website stuff. Like, that's how that business model works. So it's not necessarily that, marketers, are not good. It's just their business model is just not compatible with what you're needing as a business owner. The system's broken, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith. As well, you started off and you made such a good point, is that you can't be great at everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be great at running your business and whatever that expertise is, whether you're a lawyer or whatever the case may be, and all this marketing, you get specialists in it. I mean, I've been trying to do this, and it's overwhelming. I sent you a direct message, because with my email, awesome. I'd love to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
It's overwhelming, all of this. I mean, you can spend your whole day just trying to learn all of this, and then what happens to everything else you should?
Yeah, right.
It's just, and then you go into a whole self-esteem spin, because it's like, okay, my God, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, what Kim just said leads into my question, because Kim, I've been in business for 26 years, and the best book I ever read was E-Myth. E-Myth, right? And it sounds like, Kim, you're starting to be the person in that book. That book is about being overwhelmed, trying to wear 28 hats. How do you fit all this in your day, kind of stuff. So my question to Margarita is, my favorite books are E-Myth and Start With Why. And I've got several others. What is your favorite book that transformed your business life?
So I actually have a bunch of, I have a bunch of books on my website that I recommend, but there are two that come to mind that are top of mind. The Power of Habit. I love that book.
That is a good one.
I love it because again, business owner mentality, like, you know, marketing is different than a technical marketer, right? So that's what I love about that book. So The Power of Habit talks about how you can take this human tendency to get into routines. And if you can get your product or service inserted into somebody's habit, like the favorite case study that they talk about is Febreze, where Febreze did not do very well when they first launched it because they were marketing it as like a way to neutralize odors or whatnot. And that was all they were marketing. Well, then they did a study and they figured out that Febreze could be the finishing touch after you finish cleaning a room. And so when they took hold of that and made it part of the ritual of cleaning, right? That you clean and then you spray Febreze, the product took off. So it's hacks like that that I really appreciated about, you know, with the book. Same thing with toothpaste, right? The tingly feeling in your toothpaste does nothing. It does nothing. It's only there to make you feel like it's a trigger and your teeth are clean. And it makes the brushing your teeth part of your habit. And those are two examples that I got from that book, Power of Habit. And then the other one is Never Split the Difference. I love that book. That book changed my life. It changed my finances. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Chris Voss was a CIA trainer for terrorist negotiations. Okay. So the book is Never Split the Difference and how to negotiate as if your life depended on it. And if you get any of these books from Amazon, please get them from my website because Amazon actually gives me a little kickback. So I appreciate it. And Chris Voss teaches you how to approach negotiation in a very emotional way and how to address things that maybe are unspoken in a negotiation or in any conversation. How does that relate back to marketing? With marketing, one of the most powerful things that you can do is address people's unspoken needs. Okay. One of the slogans that I came up with for one of my clients, Doug Rohan, he's a personal injury attorney. And I told him, Doug, I said, you know what I got from listening to people talk to you? And I've worked with him for years. I said, you know what people really, really need after they're arrested or after they've been hit by a car or after, you know, these people are terrified. You know what they need is a friend. Your slogan's going to be your best friends on your worst day. Boom. Like people love it. Like it's catchy and it addresses that hidden need. You don't need another lawyer selling you, you don't need another billboard, you know, with a truck. Like, no, you need a friend. You need somebody friendly, approachable, warm, that's going to help you out because you're in a bind. You just broke your leg at work. You can't work. You need your bills paid. You just got rear-ended. Everything hurts and you don't know what you're going to do, right? You need a friend. So what are those unspoken needs? And Chris Voss talks about that in negotiation, there's always unspoken things happening that you need to learn how to pick up on and that you need to use in your negotiation. And he, you know, he was basically the principles were developed from CIA terrorist negotiations. So if you can negotiate with terrorists, you can negotiate with a car dealer. That's how I got my dream car. I read this book and I was like, I'm gonna see what I can do with these new skills that I just got. And yeah, I mean, it's a really good book.
This is one thing I've done with my employees, Margarita, is that we deal with a boring subject, which is Medicare for it's government benefits for senior citizens. And I tell my employees all the time, we're not helping people with their benefits. We're helping them reduce their anxiety and stress. We're trying to give everyone peace. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone to provide a safe place, peace, and take care of this problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
yeah.
true. So true.
Yeah, and at that stage of life too, I mean, you know, they just want somebody to talk to sometimes.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Keith does a great
job.
So
if your marketing language is all about connection, that's golden.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this has been wonderful, Margie, and thank you so much. I totally appreciate it. And thank you everybody for joining this morning. And definitely reach out to Margie through LinkedIn and then text her on that. I think she'd be a wealth of resource for you.
Hold on, just 1 second, hold on.
Oh yeah. So, but thank you. I totally appreciate it. And I know that you'll make some connections here. So thanks,
Awesome.
everyone. Have a
Thank
fantastic
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Roxana, I got your info.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.